Welcome to the Bringing Hope Home podcast. We're Bryce and Colette Schaefer, pastors, teachers, and madly in love empty nesters. We invite you into our home as we candidly share faith-filled, practical ways to build a strong and lasting marriage. Hey, welcome back to Bringing Hope Home. We are your hosts, Bryce and Colette Schaefer. And hey, before we get started today, if you would just hit subscribe, like,
and share.
All those things, that is a blessing to us, and
Go do it.
It helps us just get this ministry out there. So thank you so much.
Right. Now today we're going to talk about
one of your biggest pet peeves?
one of my biggest pet peeves in life in general.
Really?
It really is. And that is be a finisher. Finish what you started.
Your pet peeve is if things are not
finished. Right. So I want to be a finisher. I've always thought, if I can control, the only thing I can control is me. And all I can do is just do my best. And part of being the best is finishing. And the Bible has a lot about finishing. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. The old story of the rabbit and the hare. Or the rabbit and the turtle, right? Not the rabbit and the hare. Sorry. But yeah, the tortoise and the hare. There you go, tortoise and the hare. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And I always took that to heart. I might not be the fastest, quickest, best at anything, but I can certainly control finishing. Because I see too many of us just not finish. One of my analogies, even you're the one that came up with it to say it, was the basketball analogy of finishing your shot. Finishing your form to make your shot better. Finishing helps you be more consistent.
Your follow-through.
The follow-through of it all. And your words. Are you going to follow through? That's finishing what you started or what you said. It has such big ramifications one way or the other. If you're not going to finish or you're going to finish things. You're going to do what you said. How many parents out there, well, when we get home, or, I'm going to give you that spanking. And then
you do that again.
And you do that again, and then again, and then again, and then
Where's the follow-through?
Where's the follow-through? So this is we could go a month on this topic, I think, but we're going to try to hold it down to one.
Right.
So,
right. So, because when we're talking about marriage, again, the follow-through, you want to be a person of your word. You want to be a person of integrity. And so following through on something that you have said is really building your integrity with your spouse. Are you who you say you are? Are you going to do what you said you're going to do? We want to be those trustworthy. It goes into being reliable and that your spouse trusts you. If you don't follow through on things, that can break down trust over time. And that's the bigger issue, right? The bigger issue, it doesn't matter that you left things maybe undone, but now the trust is broken. And so now that's going to have to take time to rebuild. And so now on the flip side, if you're one that finishes and that you're a person of your word and person of your integrity, that builds trust, because I know if he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. And I don't have to be the nagging wife to say, hey, when are you going to get this done? Are you going to do it? No, he's going to do it because he said he was going to do it, and he's going to put it on a priority to get it done.
And you can shift priorities around, and there's things in your life, in your marriage, that you might say, I don't feel like doing that today. You put it off till tomorrow. That's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is it's a slippery slope of putting off for tomorrow what you can do today. And you always have tomorrow, and there's always that carrot of tomorrow, but tomorrow doesn't get anything done. It's today that gets things done. And so you want to follow through. And I do think if you're not a finisher too, especially if it's at your word, you're being selfish. Because if I say I'm going to do something or something needs to be done and I don't do it, I'm actually choosing myself and other things rather than what I said I was going to do or needed to get done.
Well, and a lot of times starting a project or starting something is easy. It's fun. We had the idea. It's spontaneous. But then the work starts when you have to.
Right. And it's going to take longer, or
takes
talk
longer
more
than
money,
I thought.
or,
Yeah.
yeah. Or I got to get to that yard work. I'm going to get to the yard work someday. Sometime this week, I got to get to my yard work.
Put it on the calendar.
Yeah, put it on the calendar. Well, I didn't get to it today. I'll get to it the next time.
Procrastination.
Yeah, I just think it's so important that you value finishing. And that becomes the issue. I'm going to be a finisher, and that I value finishing more than I value anything else. So whatever it is, whether it's a big something or a small something, or her something, or their something, or my something, it doesn't matter the thing. I value finishing, so I'm going to do it and finish the whole thing. And that's a different kind of a mindset for people.
Right. And one of your famous quotes in our house is, don't put off for tomorrow what you can do today.
Right.
So if you have that extra time, in the one day to get something done, don't put it off, because you don't know what's going to happen the next day.
You really don't. And it's not about being perfect. It's not about always getting stuff done or not doing the dishes today, or it's not about that. It's not about being perfect, but it's about, again, follow through. And we want to follow through because of what you said. It talks about trust, and it builds the culture. It builds the habits.
I was going to say, it goes along with the culture that we talked about before.
Right. It does, just the whole thing. And so you're taking pride in finishing. Take pride in it. Why don't you say your favorite verse?
Yeah, my favorite verse comes from Galatians 6:9.
I have it right here.
Oh, do you have it right there? I could probably quote it, but it says, "And let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart." So, there you go. Don't grow weary while doing good. Don't grow weary doing the thing. Right? Because in due season, if you don't give up.
And if you don't finish, you'll never get the reward either. So just keep going. Don't start the next project. Maybe it's because I just ingrained it in myself, but even when I was a little kid, like 10, 12, somewhere in there, like finishing a box of cereal, I would see the new box that mom and dad got, or I went to the store and bought, and I'd be really excited to open that, but I knew there was still probably one left in the other box. I would not go to that new box till I finished the old box. I wanted to be a finisher.
CD. No, just kidding.
This is helping Bryce out today. But no, I remember thinking specifically, I don't like things undone. I don't like 50 open boxes. I don't, because it just clutters. It's too much. It's too...
Not everybody.
No, I know. It don't have to be like Bryce. You really don't. But I do think finishing is an important skill that is being lost.
I do think, though, when we were first married, I would be okay to leave the dishes for a while, but you wanted them.
No, I did. That was
right after dinner. And so we have adopted that.
Yeah, that was a habit. My mom.
Finish right away.
Because what happens with dishes? It's easy. You get tired. Oh, I don't want to do it. And then they just sit there. And then the next morning you're rushing out the door, and then it's more work. And then, it's way more work if you don't put it off. Or if you put it off, it's way more work.
Yeah.
So, that was one of those things. I hear that idea too of, why make your bed in the morning? Well, that's finishing something. That's putting it back. Well, I'm just going to make it messy again tonight. Well, true. But we've all heard that.
Spills over into another. It's a kind of a snowball. If you procrastinate on one thing, it makes it easy to procrastinate on another thing. And then you get overwhelmed because there's so much stuff left undone. Now I don't want to do it because I'm overwhelmed. Is that anybody, right?
Yeah.
And so if you just stay on top and do little by little things, here and there, really make it a lot easier. If you finish, right away, then you don't have to come back to
Right.
it.
So
You're open to do some more things.
right. And so put it on a schedule. I'm going to do this today, then that tomorrow. And, even if you're not going to get to the dishes today, well, we'll get to them tomorrow. I'm going to make time tomorrow morning to get them done. Now,
I like what one of my coaches says. He has Friday finisher list.
oh, yeah.
And I've kind of adopted that. By 5 o'clock on a certain time on Friday, and you can put this with your work and anything that you are doing, but have that Friday finisher that you're going to finish these tasks by Friday, 5 o'clock. So you can go into your weekend free.
Right. And I didn't have to finish it on Monday. I have till Friday.
But schedule it out then of how you're going to.
Right. I love it. Again, goal-oriented, be a finisher. Because I think if you don't finish, we are all susceptible to become numb, or what's the right word, but become where we don't see things after a while. We really do. I mean, if we just let that go, or I'll get around to fixing that later, well, then we become just okay with it being unfinished or broken or whatever the case may be, and we get used to it. Have you ever walked into somebody else's house and it's like, oh, there's a lot of dust somewhere, and you pick up on whatever it is right away. It's because it's new, it's not familiar, and your eyes gravitate toward it. For them, over a slow amount of time, whatever it is, it just became normal, and it just became, that's the way it is. Don't do that in your life, and because then it snowballs the other way.
And we're talking about physical things, but that can also be emotionally between you. I mean, what is left undone? Don't leave conversations, hard topics left undone. Finish them, right? Put a bow. You need to make sure that you're wrapping those up. Don't just leave things hanging, especially negative things in the air hanging. You want to make sure you wrap those.
Right, and the same way with spiritual things. I forgot to read my Bible this morning. Yep. Okay, well, I got to make sure I finish it before my head hits the pillow. I'm going to finish my reading because, I'll get to it tomorrow. But then you know what tomorrow turns into? The next day. And then by that time, it's like, oh, that's going to be an hour of reading. I don't have time. So here's another tip. If you get to those moments because life happens and you have to rush, and then guess what? Just start there. Wherever you're at, start there. Like if it's reading your Bible, I'm just forget that I didn't read that. Start where I need to go. Start finishing again today. There's no condemnation. It's the only way you lose is if you quit in finishing. Really, that's really in whatever, spiritual, financial, I don't know, anything.
That's right. That's right. So we encourage you, be a finisher in your marriage.
Don't
be a finisher in your home. It really will.
Don't
a little
ignore it.
thing that has a big impact.
Right. And if you want help, learning how to finish, again, we're here to help coach you. We have Marriage Builders course. I'm even having a hard time starting something like that. Well, we understand that we're all busy. We all have different areas that where we're at, but we're here to help you. We're here to coach you through these things. Help you create those lists and
those habits.
Yeah. So give us a click. Give us a
more than just
call.
Marriage. It'll help with all of those things that are in the marriage building. So
yeah. So remember us and give us a shout.
That's right. There'll be a link down below. You can get more information about that and other things that we offer. Take a look at our website. There's blogs and all kinds of free stuff for you. So, we hope this encouraged you today, this conversation, to be a finisher. Think of those things that maybe is left undone and just take one thing and finish it, wipe it off your list today. All right?
All right.
So until next time, bring hope on to your life today. If you're listening on the Apple Podcast app, give us a 5-star rating and drop a review. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a follow. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. See you next week.